this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And we are not always going to agree, but we always have to love one another. Now today I want to talk about something that is really starting to get on my nerves, and that's these Asians. And every time I look around, they're dragging black people back into some discussion about these so-called elite or Ivy League colleges. They always want to have a discussion about black people. The reality is most black people are not even interested in those schools. They really aren't. Down here in the South, there are HBCUs, there are PWIs, there are big PWIs, there are private colleges, and students are going to all of these colleges. The enrollment in all of these colleges is high. And these kids are getting out of school and getting jobs. I hear people talking about, oh, they riding around here with college degrees and they can't get a job. Well, it depends on what you got that college degree in. But all the time, they want black people to be begging them to get in those Ivy League schools. When you look at the most successful black people in America, overwhelmingly, they did not go to those schools. And even non-black people that are looked upon as successful, many of them didn't go to Ivy League schools. Kamala Harris is the Vice President of the United States, and she went to Howard University. And even Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley has been the governor of South Carolina, and she is running for president of the United States. And the only reason that she's not being taken seriously is because of Donald Trump. And Nikki Haley went to Clemson. That's the big school, or one of the big schools in South Carolina, where she's from. She didn't go to Harvard or Yale, and she doesn't seem to have missed anything. Ben Crump is the best known black lawyer in the United States and definitely get the best results from his civil rights litigation. And he went to Florida State, which is one of the big colleges in Florida. As far as I'm concerned, the best of Americans don't go to those Ivy League schools. From the athletes to the teachers to the doctors to the lawyers, most of them do not go to Ivy League schools. Most of them are just hard-working Americans who get a college degree, go through a program where they learn a skill, and then they have to get out there on the job and practice the skill. It doesn't even matter where you went to college. If you don't have the work ethic or the intelligence to do the job correctly, you're not going to be successful. I don't care where you went to college. Bill Gates of Microsoft and Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, whatever they're calling it now, dropped out of Harvard because apparently it wasn't doing them any good. And the rest of them didn't even go to Harvard, went to state schools or just regular schools in their state, schools that were considered the top tier schools in their states, and some of them didn't go to school at all. College does not make you smart. You have to be smart when you go. And if you're smart when you go, it doesn't matter where you go. Jesse Eugene Russell, who invented the cell phone, went to Tennessee State, which is an HBCU. Dr. Gladys West, who invented the satellite geodesy, which is the technology behind the GPS system, went to Virginia State College, which is an HBCU. And we can go on with that if we want to. Those three women behind the Hidden Figures went to HBCUs. So going to Harvard would be nothing but a crippling effect to a black person, especially an inventor. Because all they would do would interfere with what you're doing and try to steal your work. Now that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't even be beneficial to most black people to go if they can really think. So let's look at the black people that did go to Ivy League colleges. We have President Obama, who was the President of the United States. We have Ketanji Jackson, who's on the Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas, who's on the Supreme Court. All those people are doing is upholding the status quo. And it's nothing that they are doing that has helped or will help black people. If anything, they are puppets. They are puppets being used to make sure that black people don't make any progress. As far as black people are concerned, it doesn't matter where you go to college, you're still black in America. And you're still going to have to prove yourself no matter what you do, no matter where you go to college. So this race to these elite colleges, black students are wisely not knocking themselves out going into that environment where they are really out of their element, because those schools were created for people like George Bush, who went to Yale and basically graduated with about a C- average. But those schools were built for rich kids to go, and for that college to dress them up as being somebody important. Most of them are legacies. And that's what it's for, the legacies. Kids with money who want to go to college and not do the work, or do minimum amount of work. What never gets talked about is the number of black students who score high on tests and are well-rounded students who choose not to go to those Ivy League schools. And I got this from the New York Times, why students are choosing HBCUs, top-tier HBCUs, long bastions of black excellence, as well as others, are increasingly becoming the first choice for some of the nation's most sought-after talent, according to interviews with dozens of students, guidance counselors, admissions advisors, and college officials across the country. I think America likes to see black people in a position where it looks like we're begging them for something. They have something we want, but they've decided you don't qualify for this. And they keep talking about it when nobody is begging them to let them get into those schools. The Supreme Court struck down affirmative action, and we have barely heard anything from black people because I don't think black people care. So they talk down HBCUs and anything else to try to elevate those schools. You're still going to be a black person. And going to Harvard is only going to do so much for you as a black person, unless they have picked you to do some kind of sellout position like President Obama. Then they'll pick you for that, and then you still got to go and uphold the system that they have in place without complaining. And then you turn around and try to chastise black people when they say, we put you in office, you need to do something for us. And then they turn around and tell you, well, I'm the president of everybody, not just black people. But they ride you to death when they're trying to get elected. I want y'all to tell me what you think about this. The only people you see that's trying to cross hell on a spider's web to get in those Ivy League schools are Asians. And what do we see Asians doing? Now, they might be doing a whole lot in America that I don't know about, but I don't see them doing anything. So it's not even important. In the state of Alabama, these senators didn't go to Harvard. They went to Auburn and the University of Alabama. Those are the big deal schools in Alabama, unless you go to Tuskegee or Alabama A&M, a school like that. Nobody's talking about Harvard. Nobody cares about Harvard. So anyway, y'all, I want you to let me know what you think about this, because it's just, it's irritating to me. It's irritating to me. Well, we only let 9% of black students in, and they're from the Caribbean and Africa. Well, that's where they want to go. They think that's a big deal too. But it's not. You're not going to get any farther as a black American going to Harvard or Yale than you will if you went to Alabama A&M or the University of Alabama. What's more, the University of Alabama in Birmingham, which is a well-respected public research university, offers students in Birmingham City Schools, which is mostly black students, who graduate in the top 10 of their class and are the first in their families to go to college. Those students are offered a scholarship to UAB. So they are finding ways to reach out and bring the community in instead of finding ways to keep you out. And what I like about us is that we don't place the value or worth of our children on what they make on a test. We tell them, you do the best that you can. And when you have done that, it ought to be good enough for you and me. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.